So I'm just going to do an update. Sunday, May 10th. I haven't talked yet about the detention centres. It was very traumatizing. I was being tortured psychologically and physically from the moment I was taken to the Louisiana place. I was repeatedly poisoned there as well. I was psychologically tortured both by the staff and by other inmates, to the point where I myself requested solitary confinement, and I was there for months until I started fasting and praying, actually, which they interpreted as a hunger strike. And then they took me to Houston. Now in Houston, there was one poisoning incident, a very horrible one, but only one. The psychological torture continued, but not the physical. I didn't get any DEW torture in Houston. Now basically, in order to survive, I pretended. And if I hadn't have pretended, to a certain extent, I wouldn't have got out, because I wouldn't, basically, what's been happening is, if I don't accept this psychological torture that they've been forcing on me, then I'm completely ostracized in every possible way. And I wouldn't, if I hadn't have pretended to a certain extent, I wouldn't have got the information I needed to get out, which was the information about the habeas corpus. Anyway, that's all I want to say about that right now, because I'm very, very traumatized by all of that. It's very horrible what is happening to me, what they're doing to me. They have sensitized me to the point of having phobias, and they've done it deliberately. They're using a combination of NLP and mind control. It's very dark, okay? There's this whole pretense that it's just a joke, but it isn't, and it never has been, okay? And I want to say here and now, I have seen, and I've said this before, I have seen another TI be forced to accept this as a joke. And I'm telling you now, you can kill me, but I will never. I do not consent. I do not consent to anything that you are doing to me. You are violating the Nuremberg Code, and these are crimes against humanity. This is torture, and it must never happen to anyone ever again. Now, the way they're forcing me, they're basically they're going through my contacts and getting them to take part in this psychological torture. That's what they're doing. Even targeted individuals have taken part in it. Even, and I've said this before, even the main support group, and I was trying to contact them, not to cause a problem for them, just to try and make them understand that this really is torture, and it is driving TIs to suicide, and it's not acceptable. And they really need to be acknowledging that and standing by the victims instead of standing against them, which is of course adding to the distress, which pushes people to suicide. I mean, this is awful. I'm just very blessed that I have such a strong connection to God, and I'm so grateful for that. But really, I'm shaking as I speak this. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm terrified. It's as if they will not let me live unless I accept this torture, and I will not. I will not. Okay, having said that, I just want to add, in the last video, I was saying how beautiful here, this is in front of us here is Junior standing. And actually over there, you may not be able to see him, but over there is Manstor, and he's having a dust bath under the tree. And right here is Prince. All right, baby. No, no, no. Be sweet with mummy. You see, Prince has got a little bit pecky. As I said, they're traumatized, they're angry, they want to know where their girls are, and I don't have answers right now for them. But something very horrible happened literally the day after I made that previous video. I had managed to bring all three of them in for the night, and in the morning when I went to get them out, a rat had eaten Junior's, I don't know what you call it, the thing on top of his head, that is it called a comb? His beautiful comb. And he had blood all over him. I don't think I mentioned this part, that when I got home from detention centre to find that my whole house had been overrun by rats. Okay, it was like a horror story. I've been gradually cleaning up. I've had to put poison down, I'm afraid. Now, this is actually how it happened. I had put my roosters into cages because I didn't want them walking. Normally I would put them in a cardboard box and they'd be more comfortable. But I didn't want them wandering around and pecking, and finding the poison. So I actually locked them in cages, and that's how it happened, and it's just awful. And I don't believe for a moment it's a coincidence. I'm heavily under attack now. And listen, if they can mind control a human being, do you think they can't mind control a rat? Of course they can. This is just pure evil, okay? Anyway, I've gradually, I'm not quite finished with everything yet. There is still, I've still got a long way to go, and I've been very sick, and I don't think that was natural either. As I said, I'm under heavy attack. It's a new kind of thing that they're doing. It kind of makes my head go numb. I'm assuming it's a kind of mind control too, because it's making me very sleepy. I had thought it was, of course there's noise happening. I had thought it was to do with the sickness, but no, I think it's whatever they've done in my head. I found that I can hardly keep my eyes open. I've been very sleepy. I want to try and finish on a positive note, but I'm feeling very frightened right now. I tried to contact my children, and it went very badly with my son. Gang stalkers take control of every part of the TI's life, okay? Every single part. And it's worse than being in prison. It's like a kind of a slavery. And yeah, they're making noise right now. So I'm gonna sign out and try and post this. Please continue praying. God bless you all.